Hey guys, so first of all, congratulations on your engagement, and now it's time to celebrate. So today I will be teaching you how to plan your engagement party. And I have already had my engagement party, so I'll be filling you in on some of the things that we really loved about ours and what I wish I would have known before. So by the end of this video, you'll be ready to take on planning your engagement party, and many of these tips can also be used for your wedding day too. So I will try to keep it as short as possible, but I've got my box of all of the stuff that we did for our party, so I'm excited to share it all with you. So let's get started. So first off, I just want to say that obviously an engagement party is not mandatory, but if you are having a longer engagement or your close family hasn't met yet, I would highly recommend it. So this was the case for us, and we are also planning nearly 2 years out, and so we wanted a fun way for our families to meet and to celebrate, plus we just had the most amazing time. So yes, it is an investment, but in my opinion, it is so worth it. So here's the guide to the perfect engagement party. Number 1, theme and location. 2, decorations and activities. And 3, the personal touches. So number 1 is your theme and location. And these two go hand in hand, but starting off with location, this is going to be the first decision that you need to make for your engagement party. So think about what you want the vibe to be, and if you're thinking more laid back or more formal dining style. This is going to help you determine the best space for your party. Also, just think about how you want your guests to move about the party and what activities you want to happen in each space. So for my party, we chose to do an upscale restaurant called The Standard, and they actually allowed us to rent out the entire restaurant. So we had different spaces for different activities, but my top priority was to make sure that the guests were able to just mix and mingle the whole time, but we still wanted that elegant event. So not quite backyard style, that laid back, but we definitely didn't want it to feel stuffy and like we were just walking into a restaurant and sitting down. Because our families hadn't met yet, we really wanted everyone to easily be able to communicate with everybody. Our theme was super simple, mainly based on a color scheme, so we chose black, white, and gold. And we kicked off the party in the cabana area with an outdoor bar so that everyone was able to easily talk to everybody, and it was more of a laid-back vibe. Then we shifted into the formal dining room for a sit-down dinner, and finally we moved out to the front patio for games, which had couches and was more relaxed again. I just knew that I wanted something extremely interactive, so The Standard was the best place to make that happen. Also, make sure that the staff is super helpful and attentive. This is going to ease so much stress during the planning process and even on the big day for both you and your family. So remember, when you're choosing your location, to think about the practicality of it and how the layout's going to go, and not just a pretty space. Number 2 is your decorations and activities. So I'm going to walk you through a list of 9 items that we included in our party, and hopefully you can find some inspiration in there and use some of these for your party, and also a lot of them can transfer over to your wedding too. So we started off with a custom welcome sign, and we needed this there for efficiency reasons because we were having our guests go through a side cabana entrance area instead of the main restaurant door, so we did that. But it also makes a really cute personal touch because it just gets your guests excited, and we had balloons attached to it, so it just is kind of like an exciting welcome. I had a poster made through Vistaprint, and it was super inexpensive. I think it was about $14, and then we already had the black frame and easel, but I'll link to where you can find something similar, and then I'll link to the exact poster from Vistaprint. And then we also had a second poster made, and we swapped out the original poster with the second one, which was just an image of us. And after all of our guests had entered into the cabana area and were already inside, we had the staff swap out the posters and put it inside the formal dining room entrance, so that when we transitioned from the cabana area into the dining room, there was a big picture of us, and it was just another exciting element to the party. So we also had a photo backdrop, and I had it made from a shop on Etsy, and this was probably my favorite part of the party just because it was such a fun thing for our guests to do, and we had it out in the cabana area also, so it was something that was right when they came in the party they saw first. It was also a great decoration just because it took up so much space, so it sparked interaction and it was definitely a huge hit and our guests really enjoyed it. So all of our pictures came out super nice because we had this cute backdrop that said the future Mr. and Mrs. Gunter, which is my future last name, so it was really cute and all of our guests really like taking pictures in front of it, and I think this would also be a great element to add in for your wedding day. Number 3 is that we designed a custom playlist for the music to have going on throughout the entire party. So we chose songs that were just cute and fun, and some were like very wedding, like we had Going to the Chapel in there, but then other ones were just like cute country songs and kind of made the mood more personal to the party that we were having. And I will link to my playlist, all the songs that I had on there, just in case you are interested. But I think it really added to the party and made it more special and more custom to what we were throwing at this venue. So another idea for decorations is just pictures. So obviously I'm a wedding photographer, so we had photos everywhere and we just used them to fill the space and act as a decoration, but of course it also added in a personal touch as well. So we just chose some frames that went with the theme of the party, so I just picked out some gold and black frames. And for our proposal, Dustin got a professional photographer, so we had a lot of really great professional photos, but we also mixed in some cute just photos that we've had throughout our relationship, taken with our phone and things like that. So they don't all have to be professional photos, but if you can get some photos taken before, it's a nice way to have some pretty pictures up at your party. And then when we went into the formal dining room, like I said, we had that big poster showing a photo of us, and then we also had a video slideshow up on a TV that they had in the restaurant, and so the guests could just watch a continuous loop of photos and video that we gathered and put together in a cute little video. So there was something else going on in the restaurant and an added decoration that we had added in instead of just, you know, whatever was already in the restaurant. Next, we had an advice jar, and this was so much fun for us, and we didn't even expect how much it would mean to us. We kind of just threw it in last minute, but we just had a simple glass jar with a gold ribbon tied around it, and I designed the cards to fill out that were fill in the blank style, and I will be giving away these for you guys. So if you decide to do an advice jar, stay till the end because I'll be including those as well, and you can use those for your engagement party or your wedding, so make sure you stay till the end of this video. But this relieved the pressure of having to write like a full paragraph for our guests, so we had them do a little fill the blank sheet. They just say, always blank, never blank, sometimes you have to, don't forget to, and I wish you both, and then signed their name. And Dustin and I stayed up until like 1 in the morning that night after our engagement party reading through all of them, and we seriously loved it. I mean, we laughed through half of them and cried through half of them, and we had no idea how much these were going to mean to us, and it was just a great experience for us to have even after our party. And of course I'll be saving all of these forever so we can look back on this and all of the advice that our family and friends give us. So I would highly recommend adding in an advice jar to your party or your wedding, and you and your fiance are going to love it, I promise. What is next in my box? Okay, so up next is our guest book, and we decided to do a custom guest book with all of our photos from our proposal shoot. So if you can, get some photos taken before your party so that you can include those images in your guest book. I would highly recommend that. If not, definitely do this for your wedding because it's just a more personal touch than just doing the plain books that have like the empty lines and just tons of space, because then you can keep this as a photo album and have everybody's well wishes. So it's just a great keepsake to have forever. So I designed these for my wedding clients, so I definitely wanted one for myself. So we just have our names here at the bottom in a pretty like gold foil, and it's all white leather. And then on the inside, we just have all of our photos, and everybody could sign in the blank white spaces. I loved this. I think it's a great touch for both your engagement party and your wedding. And again, you get to keep this forever, and it's an awesome memory to have. So for our cake, we decided to just go simple and get some great cake that everyone was going to love eating. So we got a bundt cake from Nothing But Cakes, and everyone loved it. And originally I was planning to get like a custom cake and go all out, but when we really thought about it and thought about what our guests would really want, it was just yummy cake. So that's what we decided to do, and it actually came out really cute. And then we just purchased a cute cake topper that said love, and then we had cute little cocktail napkins as well. And so many of our guests were asking where this cake was from and where they could get it, and so obviously it was a hit, and so that worked out really well. As far as our dinner table, the vision was just candles everywhere. That was what I imagined, and I wanted a long table with a gold table runner, candles everywhere, and then we rented gold chargers for the plates. And then we also got, off of Etsy, I found some place cards because we wanted to make sure that our family was seated together and our friends were all seated together. So we had these gold custom foil place cards made. These were so cute, and everyone really loved seeing their names in the pretty gold foil, so I think it worked out really well. So after dinner, we included 2 fun little games, and for this we headed out to the front patio where it was super relaxed, and there were just couches and, you know, little tables around, things like that. And we played the He Said, She Said game. And this is a really common game, and my mom made all of the questions, and she did not want me to read them before, so I didn't find out until the party as well. So for this game, everyone got a handout like this, and it has tons of questions on it, and they have the option to circle either Dustin or Taylor or both. So we had a little muscle symbol and a kiss for me, and everyone fills out the whole sheet, and then the couple is asked the questions, and we had to hold up our little paddles that had the same little symbols to show the right answers. So this was really fun for our families to take part in, and, you know, it was just a fun, cute little game. And then we also played the Almost Newlywed game, and for that we had all of our guests ask a question. So that was a lot of fun because they got to be more involved, and we had little prizes that went with the most creative question and who got the most questions right too. Number 3 is personal touches. So first of all, we had specialty drinks, and we really had fun with this, and I think it's a great way to add in something fun for your wedding day as well. And our venue actually specialized in bartending, so we met with them beforehand and created cocktails that we enjoyed, and we gave them cute names that related to us as a couple. So we had the Gunter, which is Dustin's last name, and for this one, he was the one who made it, and it was more for the guys. And then we did a fruity drink that was named Straight Outta Wailea, and the story behind that is that he proposed in Wailea, and on our first date we saw Straight Outta Compton. And finally, we had a peach lemonade, and we called that the third day because on the third day of knowing each other, Dustin asked me to be his girlfriend. So just be creative with your names and think about personal stories that you can add in and other elements like that. And our guests just had so much fun, you know, reading the names and going up to the bartender and saying them and trying all the different ones. So we had a lot of fun with it, and I think it's an awesome element to add in to your wedding and your engagement party. So the second personal touch that I would recommend is the photo backdrop that I mentioned earlier in this video, and I ordered mine off of a shop on Etsy, and it was 6 by 6 feet. I would probably recommend going up in size. We thought that since there wasn't really anybody in our families or friends that was above 6 feet, that we wouldn't need anything bigger. But when you put in all of those family members into a photo, it starts to get a little cramped. So I would recommend going a little bit bigger in size just to make sure you have plenty of space. But we were so obsessed with the backdrop, and the design was beautiful, and they actually did the whole design too. So I will link to the Etsy shop that I got that from. Our last personal touch was our party favors. So we did custom made cookies, and they just had a personalized design, and they were metallic gold and said the future Mr. and Mrs. Gunter. So it was a super simple, easy way to leave our guests with a little personal touch and a little snack for the ride home. So lastly, the only things I wish I had done differently was arrive a little bit earlier to start setting up, just to make sure I have ample time. So I would highly recommend doing this for you. Make sure you have tons of time beforehand, even more than you think you might need. Also, consider having a backup outfit. Literally, as I was walking out the door, I asked my mom to zip up my dress and the entire zipper busted. So I had to find a new white dress, and luckily I had something in my closet, so it worked out, but just have a backup in case. And finally, I really wish I would have hired a photographer for the day. I didn't have time to capture all of the details, and I would have loved to have someone there to take photos of our family and to just take candid photos, so I definitely wish I would have done that, so I would highly recommend it for you. So there you have it. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, leave a comment below with the word ride. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.